Hello, and welcome to VOD of Consciousness with Sientir. I'm Sientir. You can support me at patreon.com/Sientir, and I'm just really kind of admiring this view here. Like, there's something about this that's really pretty to me, so I'm just going to capture a screenshot of that. I don't know how much we're doing today, because I need to go hunt some Mirage Ibogas, and I need to get 3 of them from the Garden of Submarine, which is over here, incidentally. Door should... Hello? Yes. Okay. Sure. We'll do it through NPC. That works. Okay, so I need to... Actually, I need to bring up my map so I know where I'm even going. You are a map. Okay. So I've changed up my build in particular. Compared to the rest of my party, it just... I know that we're going to be fighting a bunch of stuff with hexes, and I wanted to be able to do something about that. Let's just go this way first. So there's one over kind of in this area, and then the other 2 are over that way. So I'm just going to go this direction first and try to deal with things. And let's use the spell. It heals them. My big role on this party is, frankly, energy management. I have The Power is Yours for energy management, and then Lyric of Zeal as well, so... and I hate beetles. The beetles are a fine band, but rock beetles are obnoxious. In part because they use escape, as you see there. Which gives them the ability to evade. Now, I'm using Zurin Scan, which negates their ability to evade, which is very, very useful. And part of why I have it on my bar. Hi, Gardener Tedek. I'm getting kind of hungry, actually. I know that's not related to anything in particular. It's just... Oh my goodness, that was an E-Surge. Ugh. This roaring ethers just E-Surged us, like, to pieces. Okay, let's try to do something about it. I mean, the E-Surged me to pieces in particular. Let's see, I guess chants get the wing effect, and shouts get the, or just a shout. How many times do we need to kill these guys? Sure. I guess as many times as it takes for it to stick is the answer to that question, incidentally, but... Oh, Master of Magic. That's a fun spell. Not... It's a build-around. It's absolutely a build-around. Okay. And it should be over here somewhere. Just begin finding the boss I'm looking for. Ah, that's really annoying. Oh, there's a ripened Mirage Iboga. I think that's what we're going for here. Two of 3 remain. Excellent. I want to get the Vabbian chest, and we need to do something about these guys. They're here, and they're annoying me. Ah, Miku's build is capable of breaking the stance, which is good. I mean, I figure I might as well use chests. I've got the skills. Ugh, rock beetles popping up out of nowhere. What is this? Oh, well, that is shockingly brief, actually. An ornate scythe, but I retain my lockpick, which is good. Cool. So that's one of our Rep and Iboga. Right there. We need to go to the other side for the other ones. So it looks like there's one in that lower left-hand corner, and then one kind of like mid-level there. Ornate scythe. Let's do some IDing of some of these things. Probably don't need the Thackeray bow. Right, a poisonous ornate scythe. That sounds important. Okay, well, we aggro these guys, so... those did not yield the materials I was hoping they would yield. Gonna be honest here. Okay. Do we have... Okay, we have a Ruby Djinn. Ruby Djinn use Searing Flame. They're extremely deadly. These guys use Resurrection Signet. They're incredibly annoying. I don't begrudge enemies that have rest skills, incidentally. It allows you to be able to have certain priorities and stuff that way. But it can be annoying. So. On the other hand, those guys are our Whisper's informants, so they're giving us some Lightbringer points, which is nice. I have a Dust Aura. Interesting. I mean, I didn't really mean to use There's Nothing to Fear, but I did, so whatever. My goal with bringing more energy management stuff is to help with some of the energy problems that we were having in the previous thing with all of my casters being like, what's energy, boss? Me being like, I need my spellcasters to have energy, please. Plus some more party heal. Just never bad. I should probably use rangers more often than I do. If I want to bring additional physical attackers, I mean. Well. Want to prioritize, again, like I said, I want to prioritize Roaring Ethers. They're annoying. Resurrection Signet has a really fast activate. What I'm noticing. Okay, I think we got rid of the just Diamond Djinn, which are paragons and therefore unthreatening, relative to the other ones. It's not that they aren't a threat. It's just in the grand hierarchy of threats, the paragon dudes there are just lower. The other ones are AoE damage spellcasters is the reason why, incidentally. Or dervishes, which are also AoE. So being single target, because that's basically all paragons can be, is, with spears anyway, is just less inherently threatening. I really wish spears had some form of AoE something, but they do not, and I am saddened. There's a lot of plants. I wish we had a bounty for killing plants. I also wish that I had more AoE capabilities on myself. And that Price was not getting absolutely mobbed by plants. Oh. I will take a bajillion plant fibers, though. Plant fibers are good. Soothing Images is so obnoxious. I never use it because it doesn't seem very good, but it is obnoxious. It's like, it's one of those those sort of hard counter skills. It's like, oh wow, this is absolutely ridiculously oppressive in the right situation, and otherwise it's completely worthless. Like, would it be good to hear? Maybe. Might really shut these guys down some. Man, that hammer was so much better for area of effect damage. Thing was sweet for that. I guess I have some ability, like, basically the AoE that you have on Paragon is support rather than offense. I don't know. Oh, okay, there's the ripened Iboga. Roaring Ether, stop being here. Ah, we don't need our own mistrust, okay? Of course, I'm not getting any. I forgot Soothing Images was on me. Oh, a Bramble Blade. Well, we're changing my inventory being full situation. What does this mass turn into? Okay, its own thing. Like, a single bone is just not worth that much. That's actually really cool. That might be very useful. Oh man, and it's Max Furious. I mean, I don't care about the too much information. Damage for 50% versus text foes. Like, that's fine. Deathbane is not great, but this sword is sweet. I will hang on to that. And yep, I'm gonna in fact hang on to it that hard. Okay, whatever. I'm not picking up the bone. It's just gonna be there. It's gonna languish. Poor bone. All that. Okay, now I just need to go get the last one of these things. Not taking too terribly long, which is nice. Might have time for the other thing that I want to do. Should be pleasant indeed. I don't know, who gets a bramble sword? I feel like one of my rangers actually gets a bramble sword. It's frustrating to have to leave drops on the ground, but my inventory is too full of salvage kits and crap. So there we are. Hey, some Jahai rats. That's gonna be annoying. I mean, let's go do these Heket here. Not really enthused about having a Heket boss, but or a monk boss, I should say. For the obvious reasons. In that monks heal. But, you know. Okay. I'm a little surprised that Jahairat is level 3. I usually think of wild animals as being a higher level than 3. But okay, let's focus on this faithful prophet over here. His his Word of Healing. Okay. Word of Healing is a strong heal spell that heals from more if they're below half health. It's very popular. I don't tend to use it on my heroes because I feel healing burst is fairly comparable in healing. So for comparison, and the sake of discussion, you can see here Dunkoro, Word of Healing would be 87 plus 104, whereas Healing Burst, which he uses, is 140. So this would heal for a bit more, right? This would be 191 health that it heals for versus 140, plus Divine Favor bonus on both of them of, I don't know, 32 health. However, this has an AoE heal effect and always heals for 140, whereas this will only heal for 87 if they're above. So between the AoE and the reliableness, because the AI can be kind of dumb about when to use the heal skills and won't try to necessarily use it optimally, it just makes more sense to use the reliable healing burst that has some additional party healing effects than it does to use Word of Healing, which, while ostensibly a stronger raw heal under the right circumstances, is a bit more situational in when those circumstances come into play. So anyway, just thought I'd comment on that because I think it's a little interesting. Oh, good. Soothing images being stopped is fantastic news. I'm mostly just trying to get the boss down. Okay, so at this point we've done what we needed to do. I'm just going to pop back to the Eye of the North. That should be the last one. And we just need to see Lieutenant Thackeray for our reward up in the Hall of Monuments. Only my priority is distinctly clearing my inventory of stuff. This is really cool, actually. That's a really, really nice drop. Sort of thing is not very common at all. This doesn't have anything I care about it. I don't know how you're going about poisoning people with a freaking scythe. I guess you could use apply poison or a signet, but so yeah, you can technically do it. But my point is, it's not like a thing that you typically are doing. You know, I'm just gonna grab that Paragon rune because nobody else is gonna want it because this is my only Paragon. So I want to give that to a different character entirely, but it's a sweet drop. Okay. So let's take ourselves to the Hall of Monuments and continue a little bit by getting our quest reward. We're doing the catering business that we so kindly provided them. But before we can do the wedding, I think we should take a little bit of a detour. He says, "Ah, my good friend returns victorious, and just in time, too. Our host should be here shortly to gather your catch. Here, please take this for all your troubles. It's the least I can do." So, it gives us some nice stuff. Still has the wedding, but we're not ready for that yet. Because we need to go to some random city. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's Lion's Arch, Kyning Center, or Commandant. And I choose Lion's Arch because it's in this map. That is my logic. Because we need to go up here to Dermond. I might show off some of the other ones, but I want to do one of the bonus mission pack things. Now, I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but I want to do it for a very specific reason, and it's because it's highly relevant to what's going on right now. Because I want Gwen's story. Her name is Gwen. So, her name is Gwen. This is her story. She was 10 years old when the Searing struck Ascalon. Gwen lost her family, her home, and her childhood in a matter of hours as the sky-summoned fury of the Char shamans shattered the world around her. Thousands of Ascalonians died that day, and thousands more fled before the Char invasion. Gwen wandered alone in the wreckage of a nation, searching desperately for the hand of a friend. Instead, she found the Char. More to the point, they found her. The Char did not kill young humans, they enslaved them. For 7 long years, Gwen toiled under the constant lash of her taskmasters. As fellow prisoners broke under the strain or were slaughtered out of hand, the embers of fear in her soul sparked into a blaze of hatred. When she finally saw her chance, Gwen fled into the wilderness, vowing never to be enslaved again. She did not make it far. The Char recaptured her easily. They judged her useless to them. She should have been slain on the spot, but her captors decided she could serve them, at least one more time, as entertainment. The Char built arenas within their military camps dedicated to the glory of the legions. Inside these cruel stadiums, they set unarmed humans against wild creatures, reveling in the blood sport and applauding as the beasts disemboweled helpless humans. Now it is her turn. She is just another prisoner in a holding pen, awaiting a brutal death for mere amusement. She prays for the strength to endure her ordeal, and she prays for the chance to strike back. Gwen, as you may have picked up, had a little problem here. And you can see why she'd hate the Char so much.
And she prays for the chance to strike back.
Traveling to the flight north. So let's see Gwen's story. Let's see how she managed to escape Char capture and make her way out of there. Okay. So we have some skills. And so we have Flee for 10 seconds. You move 33% faster. Duke Gaben loved Devour Eggs. He says, "Finally awake, girl? Trust me, the nightmare of this world is far worse than any you could dream up in your fitful sleep. Today, the Char plan to feed us to a siege devourer, simply for their amusement. But those vile beasts don't realize the extent of my vast knowledge of these lands. At one point, they were part of my estates. I know of a series of tunnels that leads into some old ruins nearby. Beyond that lies freedom. I need only find a way past that infernal creature to once again breathe air as a free man." And Dagar, the Eye of Flame, says, "You there, pretty boy. Come, show us if you fight even half as well as you dress. Look at that leaning pillar. I think I can knock it over with a rock. My freedom is at hand. If you can escape in the confusion, do so. Farewell." So we get Throw Rock, which throws a rock at target. If it strikes a foe, that foe is knocked down and becomes crippled. Hide. Form while you're hidden. Enemies cannot see or target you for up to 60 seconds. And Feign Death. Play dead, causing all enemies to cease attacking you. The skill ends when you move. What? Over already? Worthless. Such a pity for a man to die as uselessly as he lived. At least he could have entertained us. So Duke Gaben died to a devourer. And then the Eye of Flame says, "Perhaps you will provide better sport, little mouse. You always did like to scurry so. Tell me, though, where shall you go now that there's nowhere left to run? No need to answer with words. Your tears will suffice." We are in the form of Gwen. We have only 300 HP. So we take his advice. Gwen mentions to herself that the pillar is cracked. Ow. That hurt. Don't worry, if I fail to take damage in a long enough period of time, I will heal. I stopped there because by stopping, I caused the attack to miss. Because there's a leading AI that will lead projectiles. So sudden moves can cause the projectiles to not function, as it were. Impossible! Kill her before she escapes! So we need to go this way. Navigate the underground ruins and find an exit. Okay. Let's flee. So there's a gate lock here. Must close the gate. Okay, so that's a gate that locks us in. And here's a ghost. She says, "Hello? Is someone there? Oh my, you're still alive. I knew the warmth of life once, but then the Char came. Now I think you'll find you are trapped here with us. Great sorrow encompasses this place, holding us all within its cold embrace. Can't move on, can't go home, must relive the sorrow forever." So we're right here, by the way. This is the only way to see this area, but Duke Gaben's estate is apparently way up here somehow. So there's a bunch of ghosts here, and they're doomed to repeat. So Asgan says, "We must not fall. Only we know what the Char have planned. If we don't stop them, Dagar says, she fled into the ruins, foolish mouse. None who enter that place ever return. Post guards at the exits in case she attempts to be the first. Kendon says, I will fight until the last. The char won't sear our lands if my flame burns them first. And Scarlet says, Vlies may no longer be with us, but no matter how many char we face, remember we are not outnumbered. All of Ascalon stands with us this day. We shall not fail. We fight for the lives of our countrymen. We fight for their future. Okay. So we are in these catacombs. And we need to make our way out, but there's a bunch of ghosts, and the char have ordered a surround of the exits. So let's see what this says. Research journal. I encountered my first char today, and my hopes of slowing their assault were quickly dashed. If not for a spell I devised on the spot, I would not have survived this brutal attack. As a horde bore down on me, I manipulated the ether to imbue myself with the vigor of my youth. Thus, for a short time, I moved with the sure-footed speed of a child. However, illusions seldom last, and the body must eventually pay for the follies of the mind. After my narrow escape, I suffered much physical strain, and yet better that than the unthinkable alternatives. To gain illusion of a haste, this is a mesmer spell. You run faster and lose cripple, but when it ends, you become crippled for a little bit. She gets a special version of it that is, I think, actually better than actual illusion of haste. Flee is straight up better than illusion of haste, but illusion of haste is not. You know, it's fine. Kendon says, Char strike at us from the shadows amidst the chaos. Curse it all, I need light to aim my arrows. We must fall back to a more defensible position. So you see that this thing cripples me, and I can use this to get around that cripple. What have the char done to these poor souls? I must help them move on. Okay, here we find a research journal and another rock. What does this journal give us? Distortion. Reports of char attacks arrive daily, so I have begun researching ways to protect us from these beasts. By focusing the ether around my body, I can create a barrier. It is almost as though the air itself hardens, stopping arrows and deflecting blades. I need more time to perfect the spell, though. It requires an immense amount of concentration to maintain, and lapses in focus allow attacks to slip through. A bigger drawback is the energy loss from exertion. Perhaps I can find some way to compensate for this. So, for a little bit, you have a chance to block attacks. Whenever you block an attack this way, you lose 2 energy or it ends. Again, that's another existing skill, but... There's a cracked support over there and another research journal. I imagine we'll be coming back that way. I think I'm doing this slightly odd. I don't think I was supposed to go through some of this quite the way that I did. No, there's a char scout over there. Okay, so I do think I can go that way, but let's investigate stuff in here a little bit more, see if I can pick up some more skills. There's something going on over here with this watery area. Okay. I've gone around the wrong way. Also got a rock. See, that ends. I become crippled. I cast it. I run faster again. Go ahead and pick up this torch again in case it becomes... Well, actually, it probably doesn't become relevant. But I'll pick it up again anyway. And light it. Lit torch. Cool. Balthazar blesses us with his fire. May his hand guide my arrows. Push the char back. Cool. You guys do that. I'm going to go check out this research journal. Ooh. Fancy. I want all of my skills. The char moved through the land with the speed and primal fury of a wildfire. I've begun to realize that simple defenses are not enough to slow this onslaught, so I've devised a new spell. It's actually a relatively simple matter to use the ether to alter the perception of an enemy, especially one so primitive as the char. In their minds, they believe themselves fatigued, atrophied even, thus slowing their relentless assault. I only hope it is enough. So we get shared burden. All nearby foes move 50% slower. I feel like the actual one might also decrease other stuff, but I don't remember. We can not hold them back without Valise. We must retreat. So that thing that popped up there, if I ignored these guys and I just went through and tried to escape, could I have done it in a faster period of time than when I'm doing this? We're not going to make it. We've got to find some way to slow them down. I mean, I have slowed them down. I don't need this torch. We made it! Now we can regroup and figure out our next step. We must live through this. We're trapped! Well, let's bust this support. That support doesn't look stable, Gwen observes. The gods favor us this day. The beasts have fallen. Okay. The char have come for us. All I can do is try to save my research in the hope that someone can use it to forge a better future for mankind. It was this overwhelming desire to stem the tide that inspired my last spell. I found a way to use the ether to directly inhibit a foe's mind. The weave is complex, but when properly crafted, the spell slows a foe's actions, as if he is moving through molasses. If only this could slow the wave of inevitability about to wash over us. Perhaps some might escape. So for 17 seconds, target foe moves, attacks, and casts spells 20% slower. Let's go ahead and pick up another rock. So if I ignored all of the stuff with the ghosts there and just left, so I'll give you 500 gold for doing this, eh? Met Captain Lingmar in the Ebon Vanguard. So if I just left and came out this way where the Char Scout is and left, I could potentially do this a lot faster, but I'm kind of being thorough here. I feel as if I have awoken from a dream. How long were we trapped here, reliving our past failure? Time matters not, and the scroll has freed us. That alone tells me that our people yet live. Is Gwen holding a rock like a plate? Hi. A man needs only two things at his side, his blade and his comrade. Stand fast. We shall face the Char together. The Char took our lives, but we did not lose the battle, not so long as the people of Ascalon still fight. Go, little one. Leave the past behind. Greater battles lie ahead. And they leave. Okay, so at this point, we need to reach the foothills of this mountain. Beware of Char patrols. Oh my gods, look at all those Char. Alyssa, help me avoid them. Gwen states. I mean, I am not taking a great path through here. I'm gonna be honest here. Okay, we need to make our way up into the foothills to where that is. Let's give that guy a nice rock. That cripples him too, which is very convenient. And here we see Captain Westar, Brave Brent Paltroon, Anton, Captain Langmar, Chance Redding, and Jen Valefield. There we go. One story.
Gwen found her refuge at last. She came upon a camp of humans fighting against the Char.
They didn't hide my character avatar. That's funny. It's really funny.
Though first suspicious, they admitted her into their ranks. Now Gwen serves as one of the Ebon Vanguard. Her wounds have healed, but anger still blazes in her heart.
And that is the bonus mission pack of Gwen's story. My weapon's back.
Her name is Gwen. This is her story.
So now I have Into the Arena available to unlock. Or no. Yep, this is what we have next. Gwen defeated the Char's pet monster through guile and good aim, and escaped into a maze of tunnels beneath northern Ascalon. In those ruins, she found more evidence of the Char's handiwork, the entombed remains of years of their death matches. In the depths of this abattoir, she also discovered power in the form of mesmer spells within the journals of a long-dead researcher. Stronger for her ordeal, but still alone in the heart of Char territory, Gwen set her sights on the distant mountains and the promise of freedom they offered from the pursuing warbands. She knew that if she were caught again, her death would be slow and painful. She would not be given the luxury of a merciful execution. Gwen's prayers were answered when she stumbled upon a group of free humans, a squad of Ascalonian soldiers operating deep behind enemy lines. They called themselves the Ebon Vanguard, and their leader was Captain Langmar, a seasoned veteran. Gwen joined the Ebon Vanguard and served them well. Years of forced labor and punishments turned this innocent girl into a ruthless woman, her hands guided by rage and a deep fear of her captors. Over time, she learned to cope with her emotions. She learned when to strike and when to hold back. In her short life, Gwen has known hatreds as well as mercy, and knows when to choose between the two. She has become a champion of Ascalon. And that is Gwen's story. So I wanted to show that off before we kind of saw the conclusion of Gwen's story in terms of what is told to us in prophecies. We know from Guild Wars 2 stuff that she continued on, but we can turn in this copy of Gwen's story once it's authorized by Dermond here.
Would you like to hear
I'm ready to get my story authorized. Authorize my copy of Gwen's story. Authorized copies can't be opened, but can be traded in for rewards. So I can get something like a Char Scythe, for example, Char Daggers, any of these things. I think I might pick up one of these. I'll have to think about what I'm going to do here with this. Because I kind of want to replace the scythe skin that I have, but I don't know if I want a Char Scythe or the undead scythe that you get from this one. I think I might go ahead and just grab that Char Scythe. You know what? Why not? We got it here, right? This is what the Char Scythe looks like. Got serious meaty bit on the top. All that. Anyway, I will take care of transferring mods and all that stuff off screen. That has been what I wanted to do for this episode. So next time we will participate. What? What is even going on? We will participate in the wedding of our good friends Gwen and Keiren. But until then, take care, everyone, and goodbye.